Hey everybody, this is Tyler Pineda. I just wanted to introduce two online assessment tools that I've recently learned, have some experience with, and hopefully I can explain some of this to where you can use it in your classroom as well. Alright, so let's get started. So the first tool I like to use is Kahoot. If you can go to kahoot.com, you can simply register an account. Students can register and teachers can too. Let's close that out. Teachers can register through just a free plan. That's what I like to use, but they also have more pro plans where it costs a little money, but it provides so many more resources. But I'm going to show you just the simple basic things that I like to use. So if I were to log in, I can simply go in here. I can see all of the different types of Kahoots that I created. So as you can see, I've created 17, 1,029 plays and 6,643 players, and this is in a span of, this is my 4th year teaching. So the most recent review that I did was a fundamentals review. I used it as a review tool. I believe Kahoot's a great accessible online assessment tool for students to compete as well as learn. I use it as a review, as stated earlier. I just want them to be able to not go with a study guide, not go with dry erase boards, just be more interactive. They like to use their phones. I use that too. They like to use Google Chromebooks, which we have. They like to use their iPads. So I wanted to find something that I can use to kind of combine that together. And I believe Kahoot worked really well. So you can actually embed these URLs to have students work on this outside of the classroom. So let's take a look. So this is Unit 1 Economics. This is my direct instruction class. I teach 11 students who are receiving special education services. So if you look at the outline, this pretty much details what I expect out of the students, any valuable resources, supplemental assignments, application worksheets, PowerPoints, etc. If you look at the bottom here, it says Unit 1 Fundamentals Kahoot, click here. So if I click there, you can see the Kahoot game. And it's a simple review game, easy way to formulate and collect data, also a good reflection tool for educators as you get immediate feedback through reports. So if you want to play a game, students are required to play a game pin and enter it in order to access the actual game. So let's try this. Let's walk through it. So if we look through, okay, you can have options where students can generate their name, have two-step join in, they can play a team Kahoot, which I like to do. If I have a class of 30 in my co-taught class, I can break 4 teams or 6 teams into 4. Students can work together. I can also randomize the questions and answers as well. So if we played one-on-one, you can pop this on your smart screen so students can see this. They have to enter this game pin. So let's try it. 812 664. Oh, what did I do? 812264. Okay. 812264. Bang. Awesome. Alright. So if I do this, I can log in as myself, Coach P. And you can see, let's close that out. You can see I'm logged in. So if I were to start the game here, you see that there's 35 questions. Game pins located at the bottom so any student can join. So the first question states, what is the fundamental problem with economics? So if I look at the answer should be scarcity. So if I go back to my screen, I just click blue. It's what the students see, and you can see that you got an answer. Students can get up to 1,000 points per question, and it populates as we progress throughout the entire review. So if I go here and I click next, you can see, okay, who's in the lead, okay, who needs to get one more question right, who needs to speed up the process as far as answering the question. A lot of students hesitate, don't know if it's the right answer or not, but the good thing about this is in this competitive environment, the faster they answer the question, the more points they get. Again, it's up to 1,000. So at the end of the game, you can look at the scoreboard and see who is at the higher level learning, okay, who needs a little more remediation, and then who needs the most remediation, more individualized instruction. So I think it works really well, and I try to use it as much as I can because students generally love this, and they pretty much react when I give them options. They want to play Kahoot simply because they can use their phones, they can use the Chromebook, iPads. It's also a great way for them to review content. And as you've seen before in my Canvas course, you can link it to your page, Google Classroom, whatever you have, whatever platform, and you can have students work on this and review outside of the classroom. So that's a great thing. Another thing about Kahoot, if you look through, you can download reports of each game that's been played. So if I look at the reports here, we can use the fundamentals review that we played on August 26th. So if I look here, it downloads, you can populate it. And if you see, this is the total performance of my direct instruction special education classroom. So you can see just based on the numbers, I can tell that I needed a little remediation before we went ahead with the quiz. You can look at the final scores. These are all my students. Some of them have their names on it. Others have an alias, which can be a drawback to Kahoot. However, if you clarify ahead of time who is who, you can have a good understanding of, who's understanding and who is not. Battery's running low. All right, and there you go. You can see more specifically break down who answered the right questions, who did not, and just to see where the success is and where the success isn't. It's a quick reflection tool for an educator as well as a student. All right, the next application I like to use is Socrative. It's very similar in the idea of assessment. However, I can use this more as a formative, just like Kahoot, but this would be more of a quiz, an actual grade. So if I were to log in here, you can see there's so many different things you can do. You can create a quiz. All students have to do, just like Kahoot, put this access code in and they're good. The space race is very similar. Kahoot's trying to do something similar to this too, kind of where you work into Nearpod with slides and more of a competitive environment, more interactive. Space race is simply, it's a quiz, but it's a review too. Students can simply answer questions, and as they go through the entire race, if you will, as they get correct, each answer correct, they can see their actual rocket move and progress toward the finish line. It's a great way for students to compete against each other as well as just demonstrate their mastery. You can also use an exit ticket as a ticket out the door, a great way to close your lesson. You can also use, when you create questions, multiple choice, true and false, and short answer questions. So why did I choose these? I believe it's a quick, easy way, accessible way for students and teachers to work together, collaborate, and be engaging and providing content in a different way rather than just direct instruction. Both application technologies are similar in the way of being a formative assessment, quick, immediate data, quick feedback from the students as well, and also in real time. So how can it be used? I guess I use it mainly as a review. This could be a great way to introduce content or even teach. When we go into the flipped classroom concept, you can do exactly what I'm doing right now, a screencast or a review, or you could even do like a live Skype session to help students work as they progress through the Kahoot or Socrative test. It's a great way. I like to do these, especially if I'm not going to be in the classroom. All right, so these are the two applications that I like to use. I hope you learned something from me. If not, feel free to reach out. I continue to learn more each day, and I hope to use more of the technologies and Web 2.0 tools that were presented in Module 2 in my future practice. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.